Hi, you know what I thought I would do? 'Cause I've always talked about doing this with different discords that I belong to, but is doing like a show and tell. Let me turn this over. I guess that side's not much better. Um, so do a show and tell with like my cards that I have and use, right? So I actually like a lot of YouTube readers, a lot of these people own like a lot of different decks. Like when I very first got into it, somebody told me that some people only use one deck, and that if you get a new deck, that you send your old deck to somebody else. I don't really participate in that. I'm sure that's a system for some people. I don't do it. So first, I'll start off with these. So I have the Soul Tree Ascension box, and then I also have the Dreamer's Journey. So these are both made by the same person. I got these off of an Etsy shop, and I'm from Southeast Michigan, and she's also from Ann Arbor. So it's actually not only am I supporting uh, a creative person who's making their own decks, I also like that I'm like supporting a small business creator, and there's somebody kind of local. And I super identify with these. These are you know what? All my readings I do with these because like I specialize in spiritual awakenings and the readings that are for your journey and spirituality. So I really like that. I also have this Ruby Oracle deck. Um, I got really inspired to get one of these because I listened to a channel called Magnetize Yourself, and she used to close out a lot of her readings with Rumi messages, and I really like them. So, and also sometimes I see Rumi come messages will come up on my Instagram feed, so that sounds like a good thing. Then I have a couple of these small little boxes. So we have the fortune cookies, which these are always good. So I've said in some of my readings that I started off doing personal readings on Final Fantasy 14. So like sometimes people would come and they would be interested, but they're really new to it and they haven't done anything with tarot before. And so I would go with the fortune cookies because the fortune cookie messages, they're really brief, and then I can just kind of use my psychic abilities and my channeling abilities to uh, know what's for them in that message. So, and then I've had divine doors. So sometimes, like at the end of the year or beginning of the year, a lot of times when I was in Final Fantasy 14, I was offering readings where they were combos. So you could get three doors and then a fortune cookie for each doorway. And these would be like for the closing out the year and the beginning of the next year. And then I recently had gotten Whispering Woods. I usually use these mostly during the fall because that autumn energy feels like it really ties to this wood. But also, every now and then I will also combine them when I'm doing a reading with the light and the dark. So I also have this light and dark deck with the from Lucy Cavendish. You can tell the back has like this door. I actually really like this lock image because it always gives me like Alice in Wonderland vibes for some reason, which I do also have uh and I just really like her art because I like these style of faces, right? So this is also from her, a Lucy Cavendish style art. I really like the back of this deck in particular because it looks like an envelope. And so like I'm somebody who still likes sending cards and letters, like real handwritten cards and letters to people in the mail. And so this kind of has like that mail aesthetic, like snail mail, and which is a lost art, in the day of like text messaging and emails. Who sends letters anymore? Well, me, I'm that person who still does that because um, I think there's nothing quite like written contact. And I just think that written word, there's power in that. And that also, the thing about written word is that it really touches people. There's nothing like walking to your mailbox and finding a random card and letter in there that somebody took the time to think of you and send that to you. So I really believe in doing that, and I've been doing it since I was 18. There was a few years that I got away from doing it, but then I saw this anime called Violet Evergarden, and it reminded me about that, and I was like, yeah, I need to get back into doing that. So like, I did get back into doing it, and lately since my mom died, I was like kind of sidetracked from doing it because, writing, like when I write people letters, I'm not just writing you a letter. Like, there's always going to be like a little seed of my energy that's sent to you, and that's a gift to you. So, anyways, um, so now this, like, even though these arts are done by her, like the style and the faces are totally different from the usual Lucy Cavendish style. And then um, this is also a Lucy Cavendish deck. This is the Shapeshifters. This is a pocket size because it's more for my hands since I have really tiny hands. So this is really small. This is another pocket size deck from her. This is the Alice in Wonderland deck. So I always feel this deck in a big way because Alice in Wonderland is totally like my vibes. I always tell people all the time I'm probably definitely a resident of Wonderland, and if I was any character in that world, I would definitely be the March Hare, always with the Forever Tea Party. And then I have this butterfly deck. This butterfly deck is all about life changes. So if you've read any of my readings and or got a personal reading on Final Fantasy 14, because I use this deck with Final Fantasy 14 quite a lot, because there's lots of butterfly lovers there. So actually, I would say in Final Fantasy 14, if I wasn't doing a Divine Door or Fortune Cookie combo, I used to really use the Light and Dark Oracle deck, and then I would also use the Butterfly Changes and this Alice in Wonderland deck. Those were like my four go-to decks for doing readings there. So I really feel that energy really strongly. This is something I picked up. I don't use this in readings very often. I got it from, I, you know what? When I ordered it was on an Etsy shop, and I thought it was going to be more cards, but it ended up not being that many cards. They're like little cute little cat yes nos. They have like different expressions. You know, I don't use this very often because it's really just not enough for like. I feel like it's not enough for any kind of legitimate reading. Um, a while back I picked up this, which is like clarifying cards. So these are kind of nice because not only do they have a lot of like yes and no's, but they'll have stuff like don't let fear stop you, change your approach, it depends, reword your question. You already know the answer. So like these are really great for that kind of thing. Because like when I was doing readings in Final Fantasy, you get a lot of readings that are like have to do about that. So people always want clarification about, well, not always, but often a lot that have to do with their personal drama, which is fine because if you have personal drama, that's probably where you want confirmation or guidance, right? I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for having drama in our lives, would any of us be interested in tarot? Probably not. So this is my Wild Unknown, the Animal Spirits deck, and so I really like this. The guidebook for it is really great. One of the things I really like about this deck is that they're all split up into the elements, so it's in four elements, and but also like if you read through the guidebook, like there'll be a section that'll show when in balance, out of balance, and what to do to bring it back in balance, right? And so I like that because instead of just looking upright and reverse, it's like I would take a reversal. Usually, if I use this deck and I see a reversal, this either means they're out of balance and or it's somebody else in their energy. So, but I usually will, if it is out of balance, I'll read to them and let them know what it is they can do to bring that back in balance. Um, and then also like in the guidebook, like all their pages will say like when this card appears for you, this and this is what it might mean. So I often read these, so you'll hear that like in some of my readings I read that. And then this is this Divine Guidance Oracle deck. I got this off of Etsy. The girl who made this deck, I've sat in on her Twitch streams before, and I follow her on YouTube. um, and these are really, you know what? One of my favorite things about this deck is that, well, there's the music, set protection. Um, there's a lot of cards in here that have to do with your chakra, self love. And then not only is there cards that tell you need to love yourself, but some of these cards in here, like there's not ready. I really like that card. It's like, sometimes in life we feel like we really want to get going on something, and sometimes Spirit is like, you know what? You need to spend more time being prepared. Like, it's great that you have this enthusiasm to go do something, but you're not ready for it. And Spirit's not going to give it to you till you're ready. So you don't love yourself enough, so you need to work on that. Level up your game because you're not practicing enough gratitude, and it's affecting your sacral chakra. Wow. And then somebody else is doing moon magic on you because they feel like you're too important. And you're so important that they have now become obsessed with you. So Spirit will say, like, oh, well, you know what? Just stay away from social media for a bit, and don't be afraid to tell this person no, because this person is way too upset. Yeah, see, they're so obsessed, they're like resorting to this magic because they think that they're going to get a victory by doing it. But no matter how it looks, Spirit says there's another way. So if you change your point of fix your vision means you need to look at it from a higher point of view. Plot twist, the thing you don't see coming. I also like there's a couple cards in here that are like for the ancestors as well, and they also have one in here about energetic tithing, the positive affirmations card. That's like I love the positive affirmations card. Sometimes, especially like I don't know for you guys, but as a Virgo, like my own self talk is sometimes what I tell myself can be pretty severe. One time somebody was like, I was feeling critical of somebody, and they were like, "You ever like criticize yourself?" And it's like, as a matter of fact, I do. You have no idea, right? So, anyways, and then I had this deck, the Hidden Truth Oracle, and this was a gift from a friend. After I did some readings for her on a random Saturday, uh, there was one day she was like, "Are you free? Because I want to do a reading about this person." And then but I was like, "Well, I could do a reading for you, but I'm not comfortable doing readings." So, like, if somebody comes to me for love readings, but they want me to read the other person, I will not read a person who is not present and consented to have me in their energy because um, it's like if I do a general, well, I guess that's something lately I've been thinking about with general reads. It's like, is that ethical for me to, like, I could be tapping into literally anybody's energy, even though I do feel like it's probably fine, but um, I don't know. I do feel like energy is like anything else. You should get somebody's consent, right? But anyways, so then after I did her read, she did go get the other person and they joined for a read. And with that person, I like not only did a reading, but I also did one of my first did a built a psychic construct to help connect them to their inner child. And so this was a gift to me from that person for doing that read. So um and that reading was great because that reading kind of opened my eyes to my having a gift or skill to be able to create these psychic constructs to help people reconnect with their inner children. So, it's funny how like sometimes you may not always realize that you have gifts or abilities for things until you're in a situation where you need to use them. So, and then this is my Lunar Lapin deck. Is all the cards are with rabbits, all of them. They're all with rabbits. Um, and it's super cute, and I super love this deck. And besides the rabbits, what's really neat about this deck in particular is they have a whole bunch of, it doesn't say the moon, but there are about 5 or 6 moon cards. There are 2 sun cards. They don't both say the sun, but there is a second sun card. And I'm trying to find it to show you guys. Oh yeah, the 3 hairs. So this 3 hairs is sort of like a second wheel of fortune, but with this wheel of fortune in particular, it has the 3 fates. So that means like it's not just the wheel of fortune. Like it's literally divine alignment, and you're being brought into where you should be. Uh, oh yeah, the Milky Way. So the Milky Way represents being in divine flow, the flow of the universe. It also sometimes it can be alignment, but it depends. Like it could be like it's the universe helping you be in alignment so you can get what's meant for you. You know. Um, also, it's kind of cute because a lot of people who read tarot on YouTube, they always have to cover up the bodies on the devil card, but on this one you don't have to because they're cute bunnies, right? So you don't have to cover them up. But oh yeah, see, here's one of the moons. That's a crescent moon. Um, oh yeah, and then here's the actual moon with the rabbit in it. Because I don't know if you ever follow like Eastern mythology, but a lot of Eastern cultures believe that the moon spirit is actually a rabbit spirit. Oh yeah, see, here's the other sun. They call it sunrise. Um, where's the other moon cards? I feel like I'm missing. Oh well, there's the moonlight. I thought there was like another moon card in there. Oh well. I can't find it right now, so I'm not going to dwell too much time on it. Since I'm 15 minutes in. I also have this language of love, which I ended up getting this because when in Final Fantasy, when I was doing readings at the venues, a lot of people like to ask about love readings, and I didn't have decks that were specifically for it, so I got that for it. This is my Isis Oracle. I had gotten this a while back. I forgot, like, I had a dream about Isis appearing to me, and so I felt like I should get one. So I got that about that. And then this was also a gift. Now this is a tarot deck. This I forgot the name of the group. They're on Etsy. Is some like T something group that sells. They're a massive distributor of tarot cards, and this was called the Joyous Journey deck. So they all have this kind of cutesy kawaii anime art style. So it's really cute. And I got this was a gift to me from somebody that I used to do readings for pretty often in Final Fantasy. So and look at that. Page of Cups is actually the Little Mermaid. Cute. So um all right, so those are most of my decks that I actively use. So, and then I was going to show you these other ones. So I have this one, which was like, this is a basic tarot. All the cards in this deck also have rabbits because the rabbit is my Chinese zodiac, and I really identify with the rabbit energy. So like, this is all like super cute art. This deck was released at the start of the year of the rabbit, and since that's my year, I got it. I super love. Oh yeah, there's the moon. Look at that moon. See, and there's the rabbit in the moon. You know what? There's in Final Fantasy 14, they actually had an expansion called Endwalker, and if you go there, you can meet this race of little rabbit people who actually live on the moon. So it's super cute. See, and then you get like this Eastern style of art in there, and I super love it. These are super cute. So even though this is like the other rabbit deck is more like my primary deck that like if I'm gonna go to the tarot, I usually use that one. But I do still super love this, and I don't want to get rid of it because like the year of the rabbit is totally that's my energy, right? And then I also had this one that I've done for some people. This is called the 8-bit fantasy deck, and it's super kawaii, it's super cute. Here, let me show you guys. I'll open it so you can see how this looks. I got this off of Etsy as well. I know there are some people who believe you shouldn't buy yourself decks, and I don't know. I feel like, as with a lot of things, that's just a personal belief, and if you want to abide by that, you can, and if you don't, then that's whatever. It's not for anybody to tell you how to manage yourself. Um, what resonates with some people doesn't resonate for everybody. It's not a universal law. It's just a religious practice among people who use tarot as part of their I guess if you want to call it a religion of some kind. So yeah, so see, this one has like a video game style, so it's going to be really reminiscent of like old Legend of Zelda or old Final Fantasy games, like the old classic retro style. Um, the Emperor was like the old man in the temple. Page of Swords. Here, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. So, Ten of Pentacles is like, yay, we got so much money, we finished that quest. So I have done that, use this deck for readings, and they do, I mean, in my experience, they've come out pretty accurate. sometimes I've thought about giving this away. Like, so like if my following ever builds up and I have enough regulars that like are like regularly supporting my channel, then this might be one of my decks that I give away to people. I'll be like, if you want to participate. And then I got this anime deck, which this deck is really, really pretty. Like, the whole thing is super nice. It came with like this super nice guidebook. Guys, look at this guidebook. It's like super thick with these detailed explanations, right? Let me show you these cards, dude. They're so pretty. Um, so I don't use it a lot because the cards are kind of big for my hands. Like I've said before, I have small childlike hands, but the art on here is super great. I'm a big anime fan. I super love art. That's like something like somebody who says like some people don't believe, and oh, look at this. This is actually the Queen of Swords, but she looks kind of a little bit masculine there, but she has like a dude's head. So it's, but like in all of us, we have like both male and female energy. So that's, you know, it's almost kind of looking like also the Ten of Swords is like in the schoolgirl. Such an anime cliche. Uh, what was this? Oh, the Prince of Swords. Oh yeah. Um, look at that Ace of Cups. That's super cute, dude. So this whole deck is like adorable. And there's the Ace of Discs. Oh, super cute. It's 6 of Cups. The Hierophant. So this is a super cute deck. So probably this is going to be another deck that whenever my following really starts to build up, I'll probably do a giveaway with this deck and give it to somebody. So for the meantime, I'll just hold on to it, because I believe that at some point this will grow out. It's just it hasn't grown yet. But when I've talked to people about that, they just say like sometimes it takes a while to get established because people like need time to feel your vibe or something like that. That makes sense to me. Sometimes I need time to feel people's vibes also, right? So, um, yeah. So that's all my decks. And if you watched through all this, thank you for watching. And if you ever want to know anything about any of them or links to where I got them at, a lot of them I get through Etsy. Like I said, a few were gifts. I've had like wish lists on uh, on Etsy for people to buy and send to me if they wanted. So, thanks for watching. I was just like spending some time with you guys on a Sunday. So, and have a great rest of your weekend.